Now let's take a look what we have been captured. There is a lot of information available here. We can read it column by column. The first column are the packet numbers, so we can easily refer to individual packet. The second column is time, and it shows the time of each of the packets came in. And you can see that the first packet came in like in time 0, not exactly 0, but it shows like about 0 time 0. And it's counted by second, so based on that you will know that each of the packet, they come in on different time. It could show in milliseconds as well because all the packets come in and out very soon. And if this is not the time format that you will prefer to use, then you can also show it in different format. You can go to the menu view and do time display format, and you can choose day and time of the day. So that will make the time easy to understand for the regular user. So for example, our first package come in on 2015, January 5th, and it's about 1 in the afternoon. And of course it show hour, minutes, and seconds, and also milliseconds to tell the slight difference between the time of each of the packet. The next two columns are source and the destination of our packets. For each of the packets is used IP address, which is the address to identify your devices on the internet. It's used the IP address to show where the packet comes from on the internet and where it goes to on the internet. The next column is protocol type, and we have different protocols of the packet. And if you want to focus on only one or a few type of protocols, you can do filtering right here on the filtering box. For example, if you want to show only TCP packet, you can type TCP right here and enter on your keyboard, and then all the packet show will be focused on TCP or the lower protocol levels under TCP. Or of course you can always clear the filtering to show all packets. And the next one is the length of the packet, how many bits of those packets. And the last column here shows some summary information about the packet. For example, if you look at the packet number 6, it shows get and an address. So that means you are sending requests to a certain website to get the information. And along with it, you will see packet number 10 is an OK packet, which means the request you sent through earlier in packet 6, now you get a response and the return information from that website. You may also notice that the Wireshark program shows information in 3 different sections. On the very top, there is a window to show all packets that have been captured in the list. So we call the top section packet list section, and it only shows a very brief summary about each of the packet. But what about if you want to know more detail about specific packet? For example, let's go back to packet number 6, the get packet. If you click to it to highlight it in blue, then in the middle of this windows, you will see some details about that specific packet. In this packet detail section, you can see frame, you can see Ethernet, you can see Internet Protocol, you can see Transition Control Protocol, and you can see Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So each of those are correspondent to the OSI that we have discussed in the first chapter. You can use the little plus sign to expand each of the section to see more details. And then, for example, if you go to the Ethernet section and click on the destination and the source, it shows a device's name as well as the MAC address, which is unique on each of the devices. If you click to that, you will find that in the very lower part, certain information has been highlighted. The highlight information are corresponding to the specific area that you highlight here and the packet detail. And the lower part of the window, we call its packet byte. It shows the bytes information represent the information we highlighted in the detail, and that's the actual data that going through and back between two devices or two computers. Currently, it shows the hex view, but if you right-click to it, you can switch it to the bits view, which will show the bits, binary bits, on the same information. In the last column here on both views, that's the actual information being transmitted between the two devices. Last but not least, after you complete certain captures, if you want to save the capture for the future analysis, you can always go File and Save or Save As, and you can name your file. For example, this is my first capture. You can name it whatever name you want, and I will just put it on the desktop and hit on Save. Then back to the desktop, you can find this first capture and you can double click to open it. That is the captures that you did before. You can save it and use it for future analysis.